Hey SPN family, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jill, and
this is Roadhouse
Idiots.
Idiots. Alright, so this is episode 20, titled Unfinished Business, aptly named. Pretty Richard Speight-centric.
Super Richard Speight.
With him directing it, as well as pretty much taking on
starring in it,
multiple roles, you know?
Mm-hmm. That also, can we just take a moment to talk about the difficulty? And I know with Kings of Con, he has experience directing things that he's heavily in, but it is even more difficult to play off of two characters, and then you have to have a double stand in and do some mirroring, and then to be directing those scenes where you're playing multiple people in a fight sequence. So many details go into that. So kudos to Richard Speight, because that's a lot of work.
I like watching those sequences where you have like one actor playing two different characters that fight each other, and I'm always looking for like mistakes in the editing where we see like the stunt double's face as opposed to the actor's
I
face.
gotta give the Supernatural team credit, because I look for those and they do a really good job, and they've done it with several actors.
I saw
over
like
the years.
a frame of the stunt double, but
it
like
was
you gotta
really
really be looking for to see it.
It was really, I thought it was well done. I especially, so let's dive in to some of it. What I can now officially say, seeing enough directed Richard Speight episodes, is I could now tell an episode's directed by him without seeing the sign that says director, but he definitely has a style to him.
One of those kind of stylistic elements is like funky music, like a funky soundtrack underneath what is usually a very dire situation or a very emotionally heavy situation.
And he loves to play with like speed graphing and different angles, and just he'll play with, he'll do like a lot of above shots, and he'll take these really serious moments, and then he'll throw in these amazing cutaways, like the lollipop cutaway, showing the scene in there,
the poker scene. Flashback, that was funny.
I enjoyed the poker scene, and I really appreciate, I don't know if this was a Richard touch or the writer's touch, but kudos subtle way just to put some representation in for the LGBTQ, because we got to see one of the guys had a male hooker, and it was so subtle, so it wasn't in your face about it, but it was clearly one of them preferred the gay hooker. So I appreciated that little subtle detail close into there. And then the Sam and Dean had their brotherly talk at the end.
Yes, yep. This episode, as far as the plot goes, was a little bit of a departure from the season arc. The only exception to that, I guess, would be the kind of the secondary plot of this episode with Jack, Mary, Kevin Tran. That whole thing.
That's why I think they needed to give more explanation to Gabriel's story, and this was a good way to do it, to tell that and then move the other world's plot forward. And what I liked about it was we saw a lot of growth in Jack. His character has developed so much from the time apart, and you can see that he's more of this. He's definitely accepted a role as more of a war hero. He definitely has more Winchester in him, and I think he has more Lucifer in him too, more Angel in him, about this power-hungry drive to protect people, and I'm gonna, the ends justify the mean on this hunt, and you could see a little bit of that in him. And I'm not saying in an evil way, I'm saying very much in a Sam and Dean style way of I'm gonna do anything to save these people, and then we got to see him still hard on himself for failing. And then the coolest thing about that other world was the freaking wings wrapping around to shield Mary. That was awesome.
It was cool because I think it was right before that scene, Mary had said to Jack that she's not going to lose another boy.
Yeah.
And then so she has taken on this kind of motherly role to Jack because his real mother has died.
Right.
And
if you remember, that was something we talked about way back when, saying I thought it would be easier for them to have a mother-son relationship because he was in need of a mother and she was in need of a son.
And it's very clear that that's what's taking place. So I appreciated that. And then, yes, following up with that really cool, that special effect of the wings kind of wrapping around Mary to protect her was a really nice touch.
I mean, I think everyone loves, unanimously, everybody loves when... Jesus, Riley's just making a ruckus.
I know.
Everyone loves when we get a good wing shot, and then to see a wing shot do something new, and then to have it actually protect, and everyone just instantly knew what it would do, but it was so cool looking. I love that. I also want to give like a little Osric shout out because this was the first time. I mean, it was cool to see Kevin Tran back in some other form, but I actually really understood his character's reasonings for doing what he did, and it was just like this plea of desperation, and it was really great to see him not bad but not making the brave choice and just making the vulnerable choice.
He's been convinced that he would see his mom again, and the only way that he feels to do that is to, I guess, trust in Michael.
But I don't even think he does trust in Michael. Like, I think when Mary told him at the end that it's not real and it's just memories, I think he believed her and just gave up fighting and just couldn't fight anymore. And I know that sounds terrible. I like to see people giving up, but I thought it was realistic that not every version of every person is gonna go in, and sometimes they're gonna make those choices.
Yes. Do you have your rating?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 7.
8.
Oh, see, I was between a 7 and an 8.
The thing that pushed it to an 8 was that wing shot. It was the first time that we had seen an angel be a guardian angel. Angels are usually dicks on this show, but for once Jack was a guardian angel.
Because he's only half. He's a Nephilim. But that's true. That was really good. And, I mean, there are some really awesome, beautiful things. Like, really... cinematography-wise that I really loved, and some really great Richard Speight touches. I think I'm just so amped up to see the rest of it. That's like holding me back a little bit, especially because, guys, you heard his name mentioned like 18 times this episode, and by 18 I mean 3. Bobby is coming back next episode, which I am way more excited about than I should be. No, I'm not. I'm the right amount excited. I am so excited to get some Bobby next week. I'm like, Bobby, don't you be mean to Jack, because it's not his fault that all these people died. So, yes, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited.
Should be good.
I think, like, the one thing that pulled me down ever so slightly, this was one scene that I wasn't totally in love with. So, the shielding scene with Jack and Mary, super good. And Kevin Tran's speech, super good. And that ending, like that desperation part where she was like, you can't control this. I thought that part was really well done. There was something about the dialogue, though, in their first scene when she was like, you can't do this now. You have to wait. Yeah. And he was like, I can't wait. I can save these people. And the dialogue there, so, like, not even necessarily the delivery, but, like, I think it was just the writing. For me personally, it felt kind of soap opera-ish. Like, it felt just that one scene. I was like, I don't know. I was having and then the next scene with them really won me back. I really loved that. And then the shielding was the coolest freaking thing. But there was that one scene with them.
Yeah,
it felt super soap opera.
One weak moment in what's
a really good episode. Really good episode. That's fair. That's very fair. That was just the one scene that I had a little bit of a riff with. But other than that, super, super enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much.
That's all I got.
That's all
It was cool to see 2 versions of Loki tonight.
Yes.
Because I'm fresh out of.
You're fresh out of Avengers.
Yeah.
I wonder too if they kind of planned the Loki episode on Avengers release time. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then it's like, boy, Richard Speight, you get to be the trickster, and then I know the trickster was Loki, but it's kind of different than Loki.
Yeah.
And Loki and Gabriel. He gets to be all the coolest characters in this show. So that's pretty lucky. All right, guys, let us know in the comments below what you thought of this episode and which character had your favorite moment for you tonight. Like, was it Richard in all of his different forms? Or was it Kevin Tran? Or was it seeing Jack grow and the shielding wing thing? Because I think those are the three.
Yeah,
or the brotherly moment between Sam and Dean, where they talked about, like, the we'll die together type speech. They had one of their brotherly moments again at the end of the episode. Okay, and also, what do you guys think? How is this season gonna come to an end? Is the apocalypse, I mean, it's gonna come back to Earth, right? But now Sam and Dean are going...
Yeah, so they're going to the alternate.
Right, but Michael's coming here.
But then,
two
like,
ships
potentially angels are
crossing in the night.
Our world, so it's gonna be interesting. And then, I mean, there's a lot of plot threads to wrap up in 3 weeks, so I'm curious to see how it all goes down.
Yeah, do you think they're gonna wrap them all up in 3 weeks, or do you think that they're gonna leave some hanging into next season?
I mean, next week's also seems rather Lucifer heavy. Because Castiel had that line of, like, Lucifer is still our responsibility, and he's been our responsibility for 8 seasons, give or take.
And honestly, guys, I love Lucifer. Mark Pellegrino is my favorite version of Lucifer. There's been many over the years. Like, I thought Misha did a really good job as Cassifer too, but I've always thought Mark Pellegrino takes the cake for the type of Lucifer. But I'm kind of over Lucifer's plot now, and I feel like he needs it needs to sort of come to an end, so I can maintain what I loved about Lucifer. That's just me.
I would agree with that. Yeah. It's approaching. It's not there, but it's approaching Crowley levels of. Yeah, that repetition. Like Crowley at the end didn't offer anything new to the table.
I'll still miss him.
Yeah, of course, but. Lucifer's kind of approaching
Lucifer
the same
needs to go now.
Thing.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know in the comments below as well. Do you think Lucifer needs to go from the show? Are you kind of at that
That sounds a little rough.
Well, no, but in a respectful way. Not because you don't like him, but because you like him and you feel like you want to preserve the tough guyness that was Lucifer. Because I thought he was... Again, one of my favorite villains of any TV show ever portrayed by Mark Pellet is that version of Lucifer. And this version of Lucifer that we're seeing currently is, I don't want to say ruining my memories of that Lucifer, but it's getting to the point where it could, and I don't want it to. It's like when you have your favorite athlete and then they should retire and you like want them to retire so you can remember them as they were, not as they are now type thing. Sure. It's like that. You don't want to see them go, but at the same time, maybe they should go while they're still a winner and go out on a high note. Exactly.
Yep.
See, you know what I mean. And guys, we are still taking suggestions for fandoms we want to talk about into Hell Edis. We're not going to say which one, but we've been reading all of your suggestions. And so far, there is one that we weren't planning on doing that we're both like, oh, we're huge fans of that. Yeah. So we will be doing one of those. And for those of you worried, we're only going to do fandoms that we're really passionate about, because I don't think it would be fair to you guys or to us for us to talk about fandoms that we don't
know about.
Yeah, or not gonna say not know about, but aren't super passionate about. So they have to be ones. But keep throwing out suggestions, because honestly, there was already one that we weren't thinking about doing, and then we read it and we're like, oh yeah, that's an awesome thing. I've already started thinking of some videos that we can do for that.
Cool.
So guys, other than that, please hit subscribe to the box below and give us a like on Twitter and follow on Facebook. And thank you so much for stopping by the Roadhouse.
Carry on and have a wayward week.
Bye guys.